All right, we're going to open up your Google Earth file. Now, if you're working on the same computer that you downloaded from My Maps, then you'll find it on the desktop and you can double click it. But we still need to get a few things from the shared drive folder that the photographer put the photos in, and also the Google Earth file. So let's open up Google Chrome. We'll just kind of do everything from scratch here. I'm going to type in drive, and if you get drive.google.com showing up, fine, you can use that, or you might have to type in the whole drive.google.com. And if you're asked to sign in, make sure you use your student email and TDSB credentials to log in. Let's save everything in our school accounts. Because I made the folder, I know it's going to be in my drive, so I'll open up that. And if I scroll down, I can see my tree tour folder right here. If somebody else in your team made it and shared it with you, click on Shared with Me, and you'll likely find it right up at the top here. But wherever it is, we need everything in it. So we can take a look at what's in here. And we have all of our tree pictures, and there's actually one extra picture in here, and that's a picture of the worksheet. So a great idea to record that as well and add it in with your photos. So get the photographer to take one more photo of your worksheet, and then it's all together. But I'm going to go back one level here, and wherever the tree tour folder is, we want to save it to the local machine. So right click on it and choose download. And Google's going to spend a bit of time zipping a file. Sometimes it's fast, like now, sometimes it's slow. But if you get this message about leave, yes, we do actually want to leave. It doesn't actually take us anywhere, but it does open up this dialog box so that we can save our zip file. And I suggest the desktop, and we'll click Save. And we can actually close the browser. And here's the zip file. It just means it's compressed. And you need to double click on it to open it up. And what I'm going to do at this point is grab the tree tour folder and put that onto the desktop. And that's going to unzip it and makes it a little bit easier to deal with. All right, we can open up our tree tour folder now, and here's all our stuff. And what we're interested in is this Google Earth file. So double click on that. Now, if you don't have Google Earth installed and it's a school machine, talk to your teacher because the help desk can put it on, but it should be on school computers. If you're at home, you shouldn't have any issue downloading Google Earth. It's all free, and there's some fun things that we can do with it. All right, now we can see we've got all of our trees here. Of course, I just have 4, but you'll have 8 to 12 or more. We can take a look by just hovering over where our trees are. I remember this is tree 1, but you can also do the same thing over here. And either place, either on top of the place mark or on the list on the left, you can right click on it and choose Properties. On a Mac, it's going to say Get Info, so just keep that in mind, but it should be at the bottom choice in the menu here. But when we open up our properties, we can do a couple of things. So one thing is that if you think you put it in the wrong place, you can actually drag them around and, kind of put them where you think they should go. The other thing is we're going to add in description and images here. So remember that worksheet that you had? If we go back here, we can actually take a look at it right here in the Finder window, if you can read that, or you can open it up in an image viewer. But if you've got a copy or the original, you can take a look at that. I've got an original, so I'm going to take a look at that as I type in from my notes. And what we want to put in here is a full sentence. So try and make it as good a sentence as you can. And you may want to refer back to your field notes or your resource package to get any language that you might want to use. Now, to add an image, we're going to do a new line, And we're going to do a little HTML. This is going to be the fun part here. So to do HTML, you have to surround certain things in these angle brackets, which are right beside the letter M and the question mark. So we start with a left angle bracket and put the letter P and close it with a right angle bracket. You might as well make a new line there. And now we're going to add an image, local image. Now, Google Earth always wants to look in pictures. So we could, just to save ourselves a bit of time, we could select on desktop and then take this and move it into pictures. Let's do that. Hopefully that doesn't confuse Google Earth about where our file is. Then if we click on pictures, we've got our tree tour, and here's our first photo of tree 1. So I suggest you go in order, tree 1, tree 2, etc., because that'll make it easier to find your photos, because we know we took 2 pictures of each tree. So the first 2 are tree 1, the next 2 are tree 2, and so on. And you can see that Google Earth puts in HTML as well. What we want to do at the end of this is do a left angle bracket and a /p. And that's going to create a paragraph around our image, which just kind of spaces it out a little bit. And that's going to make it look better. I'm going to go on the next line and do another P tag and add another image. There's tree tour. Grab my second one. And I have to close off the paragraph tag with a /p. And click OK. Now when we click on this, we can actually see everything. So we've got our wonderful text and a nice close-up and a wonderful long shot, and you can see we've got a little bit of space between them, and that's from our paragraph tags doing that. Otherwise they'd all be jammed up together and it doesn't look quite as nice. Alright, then we want to do the same thing with tree 2. I'll do it on the left here. Right click on it, go to properties or get info, and we may zoom out a little bit, thanks Google Earth, but we can zoom back in. But let's put in our next description. Alright, now does anyone remember what we have to do next? Angle bracket P, right angle bracket for our paragraph. Add our image. So now we're on to number 3 and 4. Close our paragraph tag, make a new one. Image 4 this time. Nice close-up of the roots. And a /p. And we can test that out. There we go. Everything's showing up perfect. Okay. So continue on with however many trees you've got, going to properties, putting in the description and your images. And I'll give you a few moments to do that. Now the last thing we want to do is in this folder that's called Untitled Layer, and that goes back to the My Maps stuff, let's right click on there and rename it. And if you worked in groups, which we did, we were group 4, but if you weren't in a group you can skip that part, but just put everybody's name in. And that way, if you share this file or you hand it in to your teacher, it's really easy to know whose project belongs to who. And the last really important step is we need to save this now. And we need to right click on it and choose Save Place As. And I suggest the desktop, good place for that. And just click Save. Now because we're going to be doing a bit more work in Google Earth, and sometimes Google Earth can crash, let's just take this folder also and we'll move it up into My Places. And that kind of saves it also in Google Earth. So if Google Earth suddenly quits and I open up Google Earth, I've still got my project in my places. So that's we kind of have a backup on the desktop.